Good morning. Parents, guardians, family members, and faculty viewing our ceremony today, please join me in welcoming our WMS 8th grade class of 2023. Eighth graders, please be seated. You guys, a round of applause for our jazz band, all right? Good morning, parents, guardians, faculty, friends, and eighth grade students. I'm Mark Ito. I'm the principal here at Wellesley Middle School, and it's a great pleasure that I welcome you to the completion assembly for our Wellesley Middle School class of 2023. With a total of 922 students school-wide and 319 students in eighth grade this year, we continue to be one of the largest middle schools in the state of Massachusetts. Typically, our size allows us to provide our students with a rich academic experience and many extracurricular opportunities. However, the COVID-19 pandemic, which impacted this entire class, challenged our ability to deliver these to you. When I think of your experience, I recognize that you did not leave your elementary schools with much fanfare, but rather a quiet transition into quarantine. And then you entered into Wellesley Middle School in less than ideal conditions, which included cohorts, a hybrid model, and an option for remote learning school. You also had strict restrictions that included masks, social distancing, and constant sanitizing. And as the year went on, you eventually had a full return to school in the springtime when sixth grade was nearly over. Even with disruptions, you have learned to interact with each other in houses, clusters, and on your eighth grade teams. You've managed to engage in classes, clubs, sports, plays, and many activities where you intermixed remotely as well as in person, inside and outside of school. You have adjusted, persevered, and made significant progress over these past 3 years despite the conditions. It took a lot for you to be here today, and I do not take for granted how lucky we are to end this way together. As we start our assembly, I want to share with you 2 of the qualities I want you to take with you into your next stage of life. The first is taking risks. Early on, one of my first requests of you was to take risks and to develop your independent self. Through your time here, I hope you have had the chance to branch out, meet new people, make new friends, and learn new things. It can be scary, but I know that some of you have done it. In thinking about life's journey, you're never too old to practice this mindset. Over the course of this year, your classmate, Kurt Martin, has been asking me to do the Griddy. The Griddy is the touchdown dance made famous by Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson. I have found many excuses to put this task off. I said I wasn't familiar with it, that I hadn't practiced, and that I was very busy with important principal responsibilities. The truth is, I did not want to take a risk and try. So to all of you who don't want to put yourselves out there, here's me taking a risk, also known as doing the principal Griddy. As you can see, it is less than desirable to see your principal do the Griddy. But we can all take risks and open new opportunities anytime in life. So after I gained a bit of confidence, though, look at the results. You can Griddy to the cafeteria. You can Griddy to the bathroom. You can Griddy to the main office and people applaud you. You can Griddy right out the door. And you can Griddy with your AP. All right. Here we go. Miss Gordon. All right. My message to you all, take risks because you never know where they will lead you. If your principal can do the Griddy, you can do anything. The possibilities are truly endless. My second wish for you is to continue to practice resiliency. You were forced to build it due to the pandemic, and it became a goal for all of us as the entire world was learning how to bounce back and be together again. This came at a time in your lives when you were just learning how to transition from childhood to young adulthood. You were entering an entirely new school experience without any sense of what to do and how to interact. You were incredibly brave in learning how to be with each other in many ways for the very first time. In a visit this year by adolescent psychologist and best-selling author Lisa Damour, Dr. Damour said that during the pandemic, we began to prioritize our own personal well-being. It became necessary to care about ourselves first. She then went on to say that this individualized way of thinking, though, can be a contradiction to the idea of community. It has become more common to think of oneself before we think of others. So my hope for you is that you're building your resiliency and redefining being together again. Take care of you, but also know that being respectful and empathetic of others will lead to a healthier us. Please think of and protect each other. Be courageous and bold as you take risks and practice resilience. You have the opportunity to be great, and I have full confidence that you will use your greatness for the greater good. So in celebration of your time at Wellesley Middle School, I thank you for the joy you have brought to our community. You represent the very best of what we stand for, and I am so very, very proud of you all today. Enjoy. Enjoy this assembly and all its meaning. Be present in the moment as we continue to honor you on this very, very special day. Thank you. At this point, we're going to celebrate the jazz band and two advisories. Throughout the ceremony, advisory teachers will read the names of our departing students. Please stand when your name is called. At WMS, we place value on our community, not just the individual, so we ask that you respect your classmates by applauding for the entire advisory upon completion of all the names. I would now like to invite to the stage Mr. Dave Adams, and from Advisory 227, Ms. Harmony Johnson on behalf of Ms. Janice Michaud and Ms. Ashley Tarnaskis, and Advisory 101, Ms. Melissa Santilli on behalf of Ms. Susan Ricker.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to honor the following 8th grade students in the Monday Jazz Band. Kale Lambie, Jacob Grunike, Oscar Cordes, Jaden Song, Kieran Wirapana, Kenneth Song, Leo Capellian, Wyatt Park, Caleb Perlman, and Daniel Goldberg. And now, please give them a warm round of applause.
Okay, good morning. I'm Harmony Johnson. This is Advisory 227, the best advisory. Gabriella Casanet, James Dow, Lucy Gordon, Grace Himes, Sammy Levine, Emily Mangicotti, Addison Marsh, Kurt Martin, Connor Myers, Ananda Mojica, Anaya Morera, Charlotte Naughton, Zach Nolan, Harrison Oliveira, Aiden Pyers, Quinn Rietmeyer, Jasmine Sinkeldam, and Amia Vargas. Congratulations.
I'm Melissa Santelli, and I'm here to introduce to you, I beg to differ just a little bit, the best advisory, which is grade 8, 101. Freddie Alexander, Brady Anderson, Stella Choate, Emma Colavincenzo, Bella Gopin, Francesca Grossetti, Ethan Harmon, Lucy Kolka, Iman Kundu, Lucy Lee, Ian Leong, Sienna Leaf, Connor McCormack, Kosti Papa Vasilio, Megan Schott, Tyler Van Looy, and Lucy Yu. Congratulations.
During the ceremony, we will hear from your classmates about their time spent at Wellesley Middle School. After reading a number of submissions, one of our student speakers was selected by teachers from our WMS English department. I would now like to introduce our first selected student speaker, Shirley Yang.
Guests, parents, guardians, faculty, staff, and fellow graduates, my name is Shirley Yang, and I'm here to share my middle school experience. Way back on the first day of middle school, my car pulled up to Donizetti Street, and the green digital clock in my car flashed at 7:40 a.m. I was running late on the first day of middle school. Thankfully, Miss Batola noticed me at the school door and guided me through the hallway. That day, we, the sixth graders, filed out of Gym A and chattered excitedly on our way to our homerooms. We played games like Boggle, Mafia, and Blook It. At lunch, we sat on buckets outside or in the sunny breeze, sometimes surrounded by half-melted snow. That sixth grade year, my peers said I never spoke. Teachers encouraged me to self-advocate, and my report card was filled with comments like, "I'd like to see more participation, Shirley." The year flew by, and before we knew it, we were in seventh grade. In science, we dissected frogs and learned history through games like Road to Revolution. Now, at the end of our eighth grade year, we have officially completed history DBQs for now. One eighth grade memory stands out to me. It started in my morning algebra class. I put a delicious bottle of coffee on my desk, which I opened to cool the steaming liquid. However, while I scribbled away in my math notebook, I accidentally knocked over the bottle and spilled its contents all over the white tiled floor. Not only was I embarrassed, but I was not supposed to have coffee in the classroom. I shuffled to the opposite side of the room to grab some paper towels. Then I saw in my peripherals a dozen other students springing into action to help me clean up the mess. One girl told me, "It's okay, it happens to all of us." In that moment, those simple words, potentially meaningless in other situations, felt immensely reassuring. Though I wasn't fully aware at the time, that incident was one among many that taught me another lesson, that mistakes are nothing to be embarrassed about. I'm sure that each and every one of you has changed in some way at WMS. I did not have one moment of realization or one person that changed me with one sentence. It was the accumulation of innumerable actions, interactions, and memories here that changed me. I'm immensely grateful to all the teachers who have encouraged me to speak up and share my ideas. Only then did I understand how much interacting inside and outside the classroom could enrich my own experiences and those of others. In my eighth grade year, I explored new interests. I tried out for volleyball for the first time and sang in Fiddler on the Roof. I reconnected with old friends and made new ones. Looking back, I can confidently say that a lot can happen in 3 years. When we consider the big picture, it has only been 3 years, or perhaps even less, since we first came to WMS. Yet 3 years is 1,017 days since September 2020. That's equivalent to 24,000 hours, or 1.4 million seconds. In a world where our lives are so infused with speed, it's rewarding to take a step back and slow down. We often say, "I don't have time for this," or "I don't have time for that." But in the next 4 years, you will have roughly another 24,000 waking hours to live, grow, and make a difference. Maybe a few years seem like they could fly by. Maybe it still seems like you don't have enough time to do what you want, or it seems like there are so many choices to make. But Abraham Lincoln famously noted, "In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years." As human beings, shouldn't we be human? We can express the humanity in ourselves by embodying kindness, selflessness, and understanding for others. The best things in life are, after all, often free. I'll end with wisdom from Bill Keane, author of The Family Circus. His words are echoed by Master Wu Gui from Kung Fu Panda, who said, "Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why we call it the present. Congratulations, fellow graduates. Embrace your humanity and value every day as a gift in which your actions can make a difference. Thank you.
I'd now like to invite to the stage the other two advisories from Team W. Advisory 229, Mr. Adam Blummer, on behalf of Ms. Kate Taylor. Advisory 231, Mr. Andy Crow, on behalf of Mr. Nuri Barlas and Ms. Danielle Caveney.
Good morning, everybody. I am Adam Blummer, and it is my pleasure to introduce Advisory 229. And if Dr. Ito could take the request for the gritty, I can at least take the request from one of my students to drop a Taylor Swift line in here. So, as the little-known musician said, it's time, Taylor Swift said, in The Story of Us, next chapter. So, good wishes, congratulations on this chapter, and good luck on the next chapter. And here we go. Celine Adib, Jack Berger, Colin Brill, Lena Cardella, Leela Connolly, Bryn Franceschini, Noah Hampson, Matthew Lodi, Ryan O'Shea, Camilla Petit, Julie Rich, Noah Rogers, Tristan Steele, Susie Steinberg, Sean Sullivan, David Sun, Andy Troncoso, Sahithi Vinod Kumar, JC Wang, and Maya Zai. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Maestro Crow, and I'm honored to conduct you in the melodious symphony that is Advisory 231. Michael Audi, Dalia Bayulgan, Max Bohm, Jonah Cohen, Maria Generikis, Grace Hasselback, Thomas Eisberg, Olga Kodakova, Matthew Manning, Jack Ozier, Kendall Riepmeyer, William Riley, Whitney Sullivan, Aaron Swingle, Sydney Thompson, Owen Tosi, Ellis Wee, Raphael Yabar, Oliver Zingler. Congrats to the Cash Hunt champions.
All of our students are assigned to an advisory for their 3 years here, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So the additional names you're seeing up here are the other advisors as part of your child's advisory. So, after honing their skills in grades 6 and 7, grade 8 students were given the opportunity to audition for a spot in this year's completion assembly. They were selected for the thoughtful meaning behind their song choices and the emotional connection they made to the music. Our first number, Blackbird, was written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney and recorded by the Beatles in 1968. Our performer chose this song because she said, "You need to take what you have, whether it's good or bad, and make something beautiful of it." She wants you to take the obstacles you face and use them for growth, playing an acoustic guitar version of Blackbird. Please welcome 8th grader Ruby Savarese. I'd now like to invite to the stage our first two teachers from Team M Advisories, Advisory 206, Dr. Cynthia Peltier, on behalf of Ms. Emma Dodge, and Advisory 210, Mr. Rich Chute, on behalf of his partners, Mr. Jonathan Wachs and Ms. Katie Erickson.
Good morning. I'm Cynthia Peltier. Students call me Dr. P. It is with great pleasure that I present our amazing advisory. Raina Choudhury, Elizabeth Ding, Jaden Hall, Katie Hassanein, Alex Jang, Pranav Kontam, Araf Lavu, Jasper Lloyd, Jonathan Liu, Jackson Miller, Aiden O'Donnell, Katie Rodman, Darren Sivapala, Ethan Vecchiotti, Daniel Wang, Luke White, Violet Wilson, Shirley Yang, and Annie Yang. Congratulations.
Good morning, everybody. It's my pleasure to introduce the terrific students and individuals of Advisory 210. Libby Brown, Anastasia Canelos, Casey Curran, Jade Double, Layla Ecker, Daleen Jimenez, Leo Capellian, Margie Lee, Chandler Licata, Isabel Liu, Zara Marcoux, Estelle Maroon, Dash Naylor, Taylor Pan, Ryan Prentice, Lucas Prock, Leah Shi, Angela Jiang. Thank you so much.
I'd now like to introduce our faculty speaker who has been in our school for 20 years as an 8th grade science teacher. Over the years, she has built strong relationships with hundreds of students and has helped them to grow academically, socially, and emotionally. She has served on school-wide committees and has brought STEM guest speakers to her school, such as WCVB meteorologist David Williams. She has proven herself valuable to our school in so many ways. She is a colleague and a friend. Please welcome to the podium, Miss Mary Beth Geiger.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Ito, for the opportunity to speak today. I am honored that you asked me to address our departing 8th grade class. I want to give a huge shout out to Mr. DeChico for helping me to gather my thoughts when I was feeling very scattered about this speech, and you were a huge help, so thank you. You have spent some time this year learning about rocks. You have heard that every rock tells a story because every rock has a story. So being a science teacher, I thought it would be fitting to deliver a departure speech with a science theme. You are like a rock. Yes, I did just say that you're like a rock. In fact, not just you, so am I, and everyone else here as well. So just hang on, because this does go somewhere. Every rock has a story, and so do you. That story is unique to you, and it is complex. We should celebrate the uniqueness and complexity of ourselves and others. There are many chapters in the story of you, same as with a rock. By looking at that rock, you don't get the entire story, just the parts that you can see. When we look at each other, we also do not get the whole story. When we only see the obvious, we develop a simple picture. Yet it is the details that matter. Without those details, it becomes easier to judge, to stereotype, to neatly put that person in a box. We make a snap decision about whether or not that person is someone we value enough to pay attention to or to include. Rather, if we took the time to look beyond the obvious, to seek out some of the details, we might have a new appreciation for them. Unless we take the time to look beyond the obvious, we miss many important parts of their story. Every rock became what it is through a process. That process often takes a long time, and it's not easy. Again, the same is true for all of us. It is this process that provides the details of our story, and all of us are in the midst of the process. We evolve and become a different version of ourselves throughout our entire life. No matter how old we are, the process continues. Things in our lives shift, and just as tectonic plates can move that rock around, we sometimes feel the shifting of our own foundations. Sometimes it's in our friendships or in our own families. Often it leaves us feeling a little lost, a little scared, and very confused. We feel out of control. You might just say that things get a little bit rocky. In those moments, we need to remember that our feelings are normal. The reality is that none of us goes through life without experiencing times that are difficult. And if we were able to take a huge step back and see the big picture, we would realize that these times are all part of the process and story. The question is, though, how do we respond to these challenges? It is how we respond that matters. We can seek advice and help from trusted adults, close friends, and sometimes professionals, and they can provide solid ideas and suggestions. But ultimately, it is on us to figure out what will work best. Each individual alone can determine that, and then take the needed steps to navigate through the tough times. It is hard work, but if we persevere, we usually find out that we are stronger than we ever imagined. Every challenge presents a lesson, and we gain wisdom from that experience. Just like a rock, going through our process gives us the opportunity to begin again with a fresh start. While it is true that every rock is unique, just like all of us, every rock is also part of something bigger that binds them together, the amazing cycle of the earth. We are also part of something much bigger than just ourselves. Yes, it is truly important to cherish and celebrate our uniqueness and learn each other's stories. And it is also equally important to think about how we are all connected. If we only see our differences, then we feel disconnected from each other. And we end up in a world like the one we're in now. We seem to have forgotten that while each of us is a product of our own story and process, there are parts of our stories that overlap. There are shared victories and shared struggles. We do not have to agree on everything to find some common ground. That happens when we listen to each other. It happens when we assume good intentions. It happens when we approach each other, each person and their story with curiosity, respect, and an open mind. Even a little common ground is enough to build upon. When we no longer see people as being so different from us, we are suddenly treating each other with respect and kindness. We grant each other grace. Our immediate world and the greater one suddenly become a better place for all. So as we leave WMS and continue to navigate through the various challenges of our process and start a new chapter in our own stories, take some time to think about how we can really make a difference in each other's lives and in our world. Seek to hear the whole story. Celebrate the beauty and the uniqueness of others while never forgetting that we are all tied together by our shared experiences and humanity. If you do that, you will never take each other for granted. Congratulations and best wishes to all of you.
I'd now like to invite to the stage our remaining teachers from Team M Advisories, Advisory 216, Ms. Wilkie Cook, on behalf of Ms. Tara Dufour and Ms. Leah Fine, and Advisory 252, Ms. Kathy Longley Cook, on behalf of Ms. Elise Chismadia and Mr. Brian Kelly.
Hi there. Good morning. My name is Wilkie Cook, and on behalf of Ms. Fine, Leah Fine, and Tara Dufour, and Ms. Wasserman, who's on maternity leave, I would like to congratulate the dynamic team of my advisory in room 216. Ania Altschwager, Ella Asfa, Connor Campbell, Moxie Crow, Andrew Daniel, Bridget Duffy, Francis Fatsatoa, Isaiah Grant, Bethan Hicks, Jack Hudson, Ray Johannes, Mia Kraus, Mike Lefebvre, Mike Licata, Cora Martinian, Julian Michael Hannaford, Logan Mock, Liz Abigail Kam, Christian Pooley, and Jillian Scherstedt. Congratulations.
A huge congratulations from Ms. Chiz, Mr. Kelly, Ms. Pearson, and myself to Advisory 252. Aiden Abazai, Ella Brown, Liam Caffrey, Isaiah Delvecchio, David Gerson, Jacob Hartz, Jake Haspel, Bronwyn Hicks, Lizzie Hudson, Savannah Hunt, Grace Justice, Nick Lefebvre, Archie McGuire, Ella Mauger, Jack O'Grady, Dominic Rosa, Jane Rosenbaum, Lee Shaki, Kate Spiros, Teddy Euler, and Bronwyn Walker. Congratulations.
In Wellesley, we have a tradition of 8th graders writing a quote that represents their legacy at WMS. We put them in a leather-bound book and have collected thousands of comments over decades for students to read while attending our school. This year, we've asked 12 of our students to read to you the ones they've written. I now invite to the stage, and they're here, Sharon Cheng, Colin Brill, Ananda Mojica, Mason Cho, Jasmine Sinkeldam, and Kimmy Tai. Tess.
I've realized that what's most important is having a positive attitude, because that's the difference between having a good day and a bad one.
As I reflect on the time I've spent at the middle school, I feel sometimes the little things are the ones you regret, so don't miss your moment.
As I reflect on attending school during a pandemic, I've come to realize I've definitely made a lot of memories over these years. Tears, laugh, words, etc. Love you, WMS.
As the As I reflect on the time I've spent at the middle school, I feel that bad grades do not mean you are not smart or a bad student. It is okay to get bad grades sometimes and they give you an opportunity to do better next time.
As I reflect on the time I spent at the middle school, I feel I can say no matter how much I struggled, people reminded me of my self-worth and helped me when I was struggling.
As a 6th grader, I wish an 8th grader would have told me that in order to have the most positive middle school experience, I should reach out and get to know kids from other elementary schools instead of just sticking with the students I knew when I arrived.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. There are 2 categories of awards that will be given today. Every year, our faculty works hard within a process to identify students who represent the values of our school. It is my honor to present the first of these 2 awards. The Dottie Kelly Perseverance Award honors 8th grade students who have grown academically, socially, and/or emotionally during his or her time or their time at Wellesley Middle School. These students embody the values of a growth mindset by exemplifying resiliency, grit, and/or perseverance. These students know that challenges, adversity, mistakes, and/or failures are not a permanent condition, but rather a step to greater learning. Dottie Kelly was a 6th grade teacher who died tragically during her prime. She was passionate about supporting effective effort in children every day. She continually went above and beyond, and through that persistence and courageous determination, made significant strides here at Wellesley Middle School. This year, we're recognizing 1 student from each of our grade 8 teams. It is my pleasure to introduce you today our Dottie Kelly Perseverance Award winners, and please come to the stage. From Team W, Connor Myers. From Team M, Archie McGuire. From Team S, Jelizabeth Garcia. And from Team WMS, Hannah Zhang. Honor, congratulations. If you could stand right there. All right, Archie, if you could stand here, Elizabeth right here. All right. Hannah, congratulations. All right, so Team W. Connor has stood out to many staff at WMS for his personal and academic growth over these past 3 years. He embraces our hope that students utilize strategies to improve their work. He's modest, curious, and works hard at any task he's been given. He doesn't let challenges overwhelm him. Rather, he uses his resources to work through them. Connor takes an active role in his learning and is a reliable participant during each class. He is a valuable member of our student community. Connor, we're so proud of you. Congratulations. Archie has grown as an individual tremendously in their time here at WMS. The beginning of middle school was a tumultuous time, presenting tough challenges. Archie pushed through those obstacles and came through on the other end with a great sense of who they are and what is important to them. They have become a leader in our school and now serve as a role model and support person for others who face some of the same challenges as they did. Archie is an active member in school events and several clubs, including the one they started, Advocates for Neurodiversity. We have enjoyed watching Archie learn and grow both personally and academically. Congratulations, Archie. Welcome. Jelizabeth's strengths are her advocacy, responsibility, and leadership skills. Over the past 3 years, we have watched her grow into a student leader here at WMS. She advocates for herself as well as her peers. She speaks up against injustices and she challenges bias and racism. She is not afraid to engage in important matters. She tackles difficult conversations with maturity and grace. She is appreciated by her peers as well as her teachers. Well done, Elizabeth. Stay strong, stay committed, and keep up the important work. Congratulations. When Hannah Zhang moved to the United States from South Korea, she knew very little English. She started at WMS in January of 7th grade and felt completely lost in the language. As a result, she worked hard to learn vocabulary, grammar, and cultural expectations. When she started 8th grade, her teachers described her as timid and hesitant. She rarely spoke up in class, even in small groups, but she worked hard and remained persistent in keeping up with the content. Throughout the year, her confidence has grown and she has truly blossomed. Hannah has made huge strides in her communication and language skills. She has given oral presentations to the entire class and now advocates for herself. She is engaged and social. The growth has been tremendous. Congratulations, Hannah. All right, I'd now like to celebrate Team S students by inviting to the stage teachers from the following advisories. Advisory 103, Mr. Anthony DeChico, on behalf of Mr. Matt Buckheit and Ms. Christina Tai, and Advisory 301, Ms. Colleen Tang, on behalf of Ms. Anna Hurley and Ms. Hasmi Kovanesian.
Good morning. Mr. Buckheit, Ms. Tai, and I have had the pleasure of being with the wonderful students in Advisory 103 this year. It was great getting to know everyone and definitely lots of fun. Congratulations on your completion of middle school and best of luck in high school and your years beyond. Noah Alexis, Lily Andrews, Rafael Batista Pena, Elliot Conti, Ellie Dravenstadt, Natalie Dukina, Jack Dyer, Nate Flynn, Adonis Greer, Riley Griffin, Emily Gu, Will Humphrey, Declan Cashew, Junior Kimball, Logan Miles, Kate Morris, Margaret Pritchard, Myra Romy, Ruby Savaris, Seychil Uluderia, Avery Van Buert, Sunny Walton, Jonas Wignes Warren, Daniel Woods. Congratulations, Advisory 103.
Hi, I'm Colleen Tang, and I am here to announce Advisory 301. They might not know this, but behind the scenes I call them my angels, and I will miss them desperately. Alex Ba, Siri Bjork, Olivia Borderland, Daniel Bruni, Jax Choi Undheim, Ainsley Coakley, Chase Conlin, Andrew Lawrence Comstock, Phoebe Forrestay, Arabella Hardgrave, Christian Kuiper, Anthony Liu, David Matthews, Ethan Mitchell, Ayla Neighbors, Patrick Quinn Ohebalam, Izzy Rodriguez, Cece Stewart, Aaron Verrell, Jack White.
I'd now like to introduce our final student speaker. For the selection, our student speakers recorded their speeches, and then they were played and voted on by our sixth grade advisories. Here is their honored choice. Please welcome to the podium, Mr. Nolan Morton.
Hello everyone, I'm Nolan Morton, and I'm going to start off this speech the same way my dad did during his high school valedictorian speech at Tabor Academy in 1981. You may be wondering why I'm speaking here today. I am not the smartest person in the class, nor am I the dumbest. I'm not the winner of an essay contest, nor am I up here because I chose the short straw. I didn't even run for the President of the United States. I believe I'm here because I'm your average senior. Of course, I'm not a senior, but and I have 20 more years before I can run for president. I'm here because I actually did win an essay contest, and I also did win a speech writing contest, but I'm still just an average 8th grader. This 8th grade class might have had the weirdest middle school experience in the history of the world. It was far from normal. But during the pandemic, we all got used to a new normal, whether it was wearing masks wherever we went, staying 6 feet apart from each other, or taking classes from behind a screen on an iPad. As little 6th graders coming to a huge building compared to our small elementary schools, we had no idea what we were doing or where we were going. We just thought this is how middle school usually was. You wake up, spit in the tube, go to school, take 2 80-minute classes, ate lunch outside under a tent while sitting on a bucket, and come back and take 2 more 80-minute classes. Our school days alternated. One day we would go through periods 1 through 4, and the next periods 5 through 8. Of course, a period 8 carries a far more negative meaning. In those days, WMS always seemed quiet since only half of the students would be here on any given day. Zoom made us feel like we could do anything as long as our camera and microphone were off. But it was the worst feeling in the world when you realized you forgot to mute while humming a song, or when you were talking to a friend on your phone, or when you forgot to turn your camera off when an Xbox controller was in the frame. But before we knew it, we moved on to 7th grade. Our schedule felt like a half day compared to the previous year. We still had to distance ourselves, but somehow we felt closer since Zoom finally went away. We ate lunch in a classroom with our advisories, but every once in a while, one of my friends from a different advisory would poke their head through the doorway, get busted by a teacher, and have to take the walk of shame back to their classroom. Halfway through the year, we finally got to remove our masks and breathe the fresh air while dissecting a frog or a sheep brain. Every time we walked into a classroom, the desks were shiny from the cleaning wipes used by the class before us. Lastly, we arrived in 8th grade. WMS brought some pre-COVID traditions, like the Halloween dance. What a horrible mistake that was. We were finally allowed into the cafeteria for the entire year, unless you had a restricted lunch. The cafeteria is the most chaotic place on earth. If you look around, you will see piles of food in the centers of tables, or a bottle cap flying by your head after someone had popped it. Classwork and homework were the hardest they've ever been, whether it was doing Khan Academy, working on Membean, or even studying for a 70-question mid-year test for civics. Some of the traditions returned, like Community Service Day, the Panoramic Photo, and the Boston Field Trip. However, these went according to plan. This year, it seemed like COVID had gone away forever. No masks, no sanitizer, no wipes, and no social distancing. But still no air conditioning. As we leave the middle school and go on to high school, we leave behind 3 years of our life. We leave behind some bad things like restricted lunches, detentions, getting sent to the office, or having a chat with a teacher. But we leave behind some good things too. We leave behind friends from other grades, friends that are going off to private school, and teachers that, even though they give us a lot of work, we still love them. In these 3 years, we have changed a lot, whether it's our hair, clothes, or personality. There's one thing you should never change, and that is your sense of humor. A sense of humor is what will get you through life. It will help you make friends, get a job, or even get yourself an opportunity to give a speech at an 8th grade graduation. Thank you.
Thank you, Nolan. I'd now like to invite to the stage teachers from the following Team S advisories. Advisory 305, Mr. David Beebe, on behalf of Mr. Kirk Fredericks and Ms. Rosemary Healy, and Advisory 307, Mr. Mike Mazzio, on behalf of Ms. J.J. Keller.
.305, Anisha Charia, Oscar Allen, Edward Billy, Madeline Coy, Jelizabeth Garcia, Bhavna Gopal, Brendan Lowe, Micah McCleary, Nacy Mendes Tapina, Jack O'Boyle, Layla Powell, Finn Riley, Pernille Rohatgi, Claire Roney, Ronan Sharma, Dominic Stoughton, Audrey Tushman, Eli Wexler, Sarah Yang, Linda Zhang, Grace Al. 305.
Good morning. I'm Michael Mazzio, and it's my honor to introduce the students from Homeroom 307. Reese Adams, Alicia Arbit Ingalls, Quinn Burke, Aaliyah Carter, Sadie Kaskar, Kate Cooney, Benjamin Davis, Phineas Forrestay, Seth Ford, Charles McCormick, Maximus Nigro, Ella Ozdemir, Hannah Reynolds, Evelyn Simon, Sadie Smith, Diego Stayer-Tosi, and Sonia Tillander. Congratulations.
We'd now like to hear from our second group of Legacy Strip speakers, grade 8 students, Raina Chowdhury, David Gerson, Nacy Mendez-Dapina, Anthony Liu, Annie Yang, and Praneel Rohatgi.
As I reflect on the time I've spent in the middle school, I feel I can appreciate all the experiences I've had, good and bad, and be grateful for how they've helped me grow.
In order to have a successful experience at the middle school, always pay attention to what the teacher is saying and ask questions along the way. Don't forget to take notes and finish your homework on time.
The most significant lesson I have learned throughout my years at the middle school is that friends come and go. But that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you or the other person. People grow apart and that is no one's fault. The best thing to do is to move on and be better.
The most significant lesson I've learned through my experience at the middle school is to not let others minimize your accomplishments.
As I reflect on the time I spent at middle school, I have come to realize that I am not who I expected myself to be 3 years ago, but I do not regret anything.
As I reflect on attending school during a pandemic, I have come to realize that being able to sit at a lunch table where you are right next to your friends is a luxury.
You guys, I like it. Our next award, the Michael Quigley Award, is a citizenship award that honors an 8th grade student who practices our values of showing respect and taking responsibility through strong citizenship, community service, and our school leadership. These students display empathy and compassion when collaborating with peers. These students continually serve as a role model within their 8th grade class and/or the school at large. Michael Quigley was born in Ireland and was a head custodian at WMS for many years. Despite his specific role of maintaining the building, he impacted everyone in the community by his gentleness and high standards. He truly represented the core values of WMS. This year, we are recognizing one student from each of our teams. It is my pleasure to introduce to you today our Michael Quigley Citizenship Award winners, and please come to the stage. From Team W, Ryan O'Shea. From Team M, Jonathan Liu. From Team S, Ruby Savaris. And from Team WMS, Sarah Hernandez.
Congratulations, you guys. All right.
okay? From Team W. So when the Team W teachers were asked who embodies the spirit of kindness, caring, and empathy central to the Michael Quigley Award, we all came to the same conclusion: Ryan O'Shea. Ryan is an example of how the loudest person in the room isn't always the leader. Instead, true leaders figure out how to include all members of the group, how to balance getting their way versus listening to others, and how to build consensus when not everyone agrees. Even more amazingly, he does this with humor, a smile, and real wisdom. Congratulations, Ryan, and thank you for all you do for our community. Jonathan exemplifies all the core values of the Wellesley Middle School, and in particular, his strong sense of respect and responsibility highlight his already bright character. Jonathan is helpful and outgoing on a daily basis and is well respected among his peers. Jonathan can keenly sense when something is needed, and his willingness to help a fellow student or the community at large is an example for us all. Jonathan is Wellesley's ambassador to Project 351, a student-led program that provides high-quality, enriching service opportunities across Massachusetts. This commitment to community and Jonathan's inclusive character creates a sense of belonging that positively impacts the classroom. Jonathan's exemplary character and willingness to look beyond his own interests make him an exemplary student, a selfless individual, and a community leader. Congratulations, Jonathan. Hi, Ruby. Ruby exemplifies model citizenship through her inclusive attire, self-awareness, and unwavering commitment. With a positive attitude and determination, she models citizenship on a daily basis, caring both for herself and others. Ruby's remarkable quality is her selflessness, as she always puts others first and stands up for their rights. Her courage as defending her convictions is truly inspiring. Ruby's actions reflect the essence of model citizenship, fostering unity and empathy in her community. Congratulations, Ruby. Sarah is an 8th grade student who truly exemplifies the core values of WMS. Her citizenship is not showy or attention-seeking. Rather, she is the type of student who quietly makes the kind choice over and over. Whether she is helping a peer who is on crutches or giving an encouraging smile to someone who has just given an oral presentation, Sarah goes out of her way to make people feel seen and appreciated, and she never minimizes her peers. Sarah is able to work with all of her peers without complaint or judgment. She appreciates what each group member is able to contribute and is able to see the humor even in challenging situations. Congratulations, Sarah. Well done. All right, congratulations, you guys. Good work, okay? Appreciate your time here. We're now going to celebrate Team WMS and invite to the stage teachers from the following advisories. 105, Miss Mary Beth Geiger on behalf of Miss Kate Mahoney and Mr. Ken Johnson, and advisory 203, Miss Neptune, Margaret Neptune on behalf of herself and Miss Erin Johnson.
Congratulations to advisory 105. Jake Brogy, Colin Brown, Hallie Brown, Clara Chafee, Sharon Chang, Mason Cho, Sophia Choi, Andrew Grasso, Hannah Jang, Solomon Jin, Luna Liu, Elise McDonough, Shoshi Pallavi, Hannah Thornton, Tessa Varpahovsky, Tomas Vigil, Megan Wang, Troy Wang, Andrew Waresta, Lila Wellburn. Gonna miss you guys. Congratulations.
I had the pleasure of having room 203 as my advisory, and they were a spectacular group of humans who insisted on creating kind of our own identity as a class. So we are the Neptuners and the Buzz Buggers, and very proudly so. So please honor Kaylee Baker, Chase Beauvais, Lulu Baffa, Hunter Duval, Gigi Gopin, Kate Humphrey, Sloan Marmer, Grace McGonigal, Nolan Morton, Cameron Poirier, Lauren Suhu, Kinsley Stevens, Tyler Stokes, Griffin Sullivan, and Benjamin Yu. Thank you very much.
We will now have the privilege of hearing from 4 students who have really grown in their time here at WMS. All talented musicians, they are here to sing about the growth and maturity we experience leading to where we are, and to remember that the lessons we are taught and learn we carry throughout our entire lives. Without further introduction, please welcome Dhiren Sivapala, Francis Fatsotoa, Daniel Goldberg, and Jaden Hall performing 7 Years by Lucas Graham.
Once I was 7 years old, my mama told me, go get yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old.
It was a big, big world, but we thought we were bigger. Pushing each other to the limits, we were learning quicker. By 11, stuck at home, no friends to make me snicker. Never rich, so we were out to make that steady figure.
Once I was 11 years old, my daddy told me, get yourself a wife or you'll be lonely. Once I was 11 years old.
I always have that dream like my daddy before me. So I started writing songs, I started writing stories. Something about that glory just always seemed to bore me, 'cause only those I really loved will ever really know me.
Once I was 20 years old, my story got told before the morning sun when life was lonely. Once I was 20 years old.
I only see my goals, I don't believe in failure, 'cause I know the smallest voices, they can make it major. I got my boys with me, at least those in favor. And if we don't meet before I leave, I hope you see you later.
Once I was 20 years old, my story got told. I was writing about everything I saw before me. Once I was 20 years old. Soon we'll be 30 years old. Songs have been sold. We've traveled around the world and we're still roaming. Soon we'll be 30 years old.
Still learn about life, my warm brought children for me, so I can sing them all my songs and I can tell them stories. Well, some my boys are with me, some are still out seeking glory, and some I had to leave behind. My brother, I'm so sorry.
Soon I'll be 60 years old. Daddy got 61. Remember life and then your life becomes a better one. years old. My mama told me, go get yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old. Once I was 7 years old.
Okay, you can go. Right? All right, well done, well done. Okay, I would now like to invite to the stage our teachers from our final two advisories. From Team WMS, Advisory 207, Ms. Kyle Eichner on behalf of Ms. Alex Bennett, and Advisory 211, Ms. Liz Burgess on behalf of Ms. Rebecca Buluoff.
Kyle Eichner. I'm so excited to announce Homeroom 211 on behalf of myself, Frau Bennett, and of course, Ms. Hardwick. Starting with Beckett Ahern, Caitlin Bardorf, Alexander Bertucci, Olive Baffa, Jason Chen, Mia Chung, Lucy Close, Ella Cloutier, Aisha Dutsayeva, Sarah Hernandez, Blynn Coolmust, Jimmy Malika, Cooper Monroe, Blanca Peters-Domenic, Gabe Rayleigh, Ryan Rodriguez, Will Rutolo. Congratulations.
And homeroom 211, they were just okay. Just kidding. Big love, 211. I would like to honor Alice Varpahovsky, Allison Chung, Audrey Hutchins, Camden Chan, Eddie Zen, Elizabeth Reedy, J.C. Zhang, Jack Devlin, Jack Holian, Jack Rotella, Jesse Heller, Kimmy Tai, Liam Berger, Mac Bolin, Oliver Lynn, Olivia Desatel, Owen Schwartz, Peyton Lerner, Sabrina Gabriel, Sotaro Tumimatsu, Tiff Tran, and Tyler Foster. Thank you.
As we complete our ceremony, I'd like to acknowledge some people who have made a difference in our community this year. Please join me in thanking our PTO presidents, Joelle Reedy and Nicole Myers, my assistant Patty Chung and WMS main office assistants Sue Higgins, Marie Lynch, and Sammy Gradwall, and all our PTO volunteers this year who gave their time in making our school stronger. We could not have done it without you. Thank you so much. Also, please help me to thank the Wellesley educators in our building, our assistant principals, Ms. Kathy Gordon and Ms. Anna Hurley, as well as our WPS Central Office led by Superintendent Dr. David Lucier for their ongoing hard work and commitment to students all year. Thank you to all of you. Speaking of notable adults, I have seen many work so hard on your behalf through various opportunities in multiple capacities, many adults who have worked in front and behind the scenes to make your time at Wellesley Middle School the best that it can be. Please applaud your moms, dads, grandparents, guardians, teachers, counselors, school nurses, caregivers, and all the adults for all that they have done for you. And finally, I'd like to acknowledge our longtime educators who will be retiring from Wellesley Public Schools this June. Please join me in recognizing science teacher Miss Mary Beth Geiger, school psychologist Vicki Anderson, math teacher Ann Greenewalt, and French teacher Susan Ricker. We wish you all good luck on this next chapter of your lives. Congratulations. All right, so there's only one thing left to do, which is your slideshow. So for this year's slideshow, I chose 3 songs and many pictures from the fall of 2020 until now that I feel best represent our time together. The first song is Never Grow Up by Taylor Swift. First, Taylor Swift is everywhere, so it only seemed appropriate that she be here too. But more importantly, you have had a less than normal few years, and as the adults in your life, there's a part of us that would like you to hold on to your childhood a bit longer. The second song is Beautiful Game by Ed Sheeran. This song is from the TV show Ted Lasso, and it represents overcoming obstacles, becoming stronger as a result of them, and appreciating the context in which they exist. We can find beauty in tough times if we allow ourselves to see the good in it. And the final song is Carry On by Fun. It's an anthem to all of us who remain committed, even through the obstacles, with strength and perseverance. We can make this world a better place. So without further introduction, here is your time in pictures.
Your little hands wrapped around my finger, and it's so quiet in the world tonight. Your little eyelids flutter 'cause you're dreaming, so I tuck you in, turn on your favorite night light. To you, everything's funny. You got nothing to regret. I'd give all I have, honey, if you could stay like that. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, just stay this little. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, it could stay this simple. I won't let nobody hurt you, won't let no one break your heart. No one will desert you. Just try to never grow up. And never grow up. You're in the car on the way to the movies, and you're mortified your mom's dropping you off. At 14, there's just so much you can't do, and you can't wait to move out someday and call your own shots. But don't make her drop you off around the block. Remember that she's getting older too, and don't lose the way that you dance around in your PJs, getting ready for school. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, just stay this little. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, it could stay this simple. And no one's ever burned you, nothing's ever left you scarred. And even though you want to, just try to never grow up. Take pictures in your mind of your childhood room. Memorize what it sounded like when your dad gets home. Remember the footsteps, remember the words said, and I just realized everything I have is someday gonna be gone. So here I am in my new apartment in a big city. They just dropped me off. It's so much colder than I thought it would be, so I tucked myself in and turned my nightlight on. Wish I'd never grown up. Wish I'd never grown up. Oh, I don't wanna grow up. Wish I'd never grown up. Could still be little. Oh, I don't wanna grow up. Wish I'd never grown up. It could still be simple. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up. Don't you ever grow up. You just stay this little. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up. Don't you ever grow up. Could stay this simple. Won't let nobody hurt you. Won't let no one break your heart. And even though you want to, please try to never go. Don't you ever grow up. Never grow up. Just never grow up.
Though we've not reached the end, we should take some time apart. Leave here with no regrets, knowing we gave our all. Oh, I cannot pretend that this won't break our hearts, but we will meet again. I know the art is tall, but we could be so much more. Out of the embers we'll rise, from the ashes and write in the stars with our names. That we are here, we are bruised, we are damaged, but the joy was worth the pain. Whoa, love's a beautiful game. Oh, what a state we're in, but the war is far from won. Yeah, we did everything anyone could have done. We'll pick the pieces up, put it together with prayer and hope it works. They say it's in the blood, and I know the art is told, but we could be so much more. Out of the embers we'll rise, from the ashes and write in the stars with our names. That we are here, we are bruised, we are damaged, but the joy was worth the pain. Whoa, love's a beautiful game. Beautiful game. Beautiful Out of the embers we'll rise, from the ashes and write in the stars with our names. That we are here, we We are bruised, we are damaged, but the joy was worth the pain. Whoa, love's a beautiful game.
Well, I woke up to the sound of silence. The cars were cutting like knives in a fist fight. And I found you with a bottle of wine, your head in the curtains, and heart like the 4th of July. You swore and said we are not shining stars. This I know, I never said we are. Though I've never been through hell like that, I've closed enough windows to know you can never look back. If you're lost and alone, or you're sinking like a stone, carry on. May your past be the sound of your feet upon the ground. Carry on. Carry on, carry on. So I met up with some friends at the edge of the night at a bar off 75. And we talked and talked about how our parents will die, all our neighbors and wives. But I'd like to think I can change
All right, so in closing, from September 2020 to June 2023, you have grown and are now ready for your next step. To the Wellesley High School class of 2027 and any other high school class, we wish you, of 2027, we wish you peace and happiness from all of us here at WMS. You're officially freshmen. We will now complete our ceremony, and please join me with a final round of applause and many, many cheers for our departing students, the future high school class of 2027.